Go through the 36th question. Arrange the following in the descending order of freshwater percentage. Now see that fourth one, ice caps and glaciers. Now UPSC has already asked a question from this region and we have solved it in our class, right? Okay. So we know that the majority of the freshwater, out of the majority of the freshwater, it is there in the ice caps and glaciers, right? Of the total amount of water, 97% is present in ocean, which is not drinkable and which we cannot call it as freshwater. And only 3% left is actually freshwater. And in this 3%, majority of the freshwater is seen in ice caps and glaciers. Okay, so with that knowledge we can eliminate B and C. So it all comes down to the second and third statement. Okay, and you should understand that after the polar ice caps, the majority of the freshwater is seen in groundwater resources. Okay, and the majority of the freshwater in the surface is seen in freshwater lakes and rivers. Okay, groundwater, it is not accessible from the surface always, right? So the answer will come out as D, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Now come to the next question, 37. Which of the following best describes the formation of high pressure belt between 25 degree to 35 degree latitude in both hemispheres? Now what we call that high pressure belt region? Subtropical high pressure belt, right? Now go through the statements. It is actually two statement question and you need to understand both the questions, then only you will be able to get the answer. Ascending air from the equatorial region subsides in these latitudes owing to increasing density. Now when I was taking this third module of the climatology, I told you about this subtropical high pressure belt, right? Why it is formed? It is formed because of the subsidence of the air in those latitudes. And now why the air subsides? Two reasons are there. One, as the air is going upward, the density will increase so that it will subside. Now the second reason being because of the jet streams. We are having west to east flow of winds in those latitudes and it will create a blocking effect, right? So I am not going in detail that part, it was well covered in our sessions, right? So the answer will come out as C, both 1 and 2. Now the 38th question, again another two statement question. Consider the following statement about the Westerlies. See, Westerlies again another favorite area of UPSC. They frequently ask questions from Westerlies. If you see the recent questions being asked from the atmospheric wind or pressure or our third material, we'll understand that both the questions came from the Westerlies, right? I also discussed those questions in the class. Now with that knowledge, the first statement, go through the first statement. In southern hemisphere, they are stronger and persistent than in the northern hemisphere. True or false? True, right? Because of what? Because we are having less amount of land mass in the southern hemisphere and more amount of land mass in the northern hemisphere. And this creates an obstacle for the propagation of Westerlies. So they are more irregular in northern hemisphere. So the first statement is true. Now they are stronger during summer than during winter. Now another important feature of Westerlies. Another important feature of Westerlies is that they are more strong during winter season. They attain gale force during the winter time, not during the summer time. So again the second statement is false. So the answer will come out as A only. So sorry, 1 only. Answer will come out as A. Now go through the 39th question. Which of the following pairs is not correctly matched? And the question is about air masses. See, this question is again, this area is again important for you because for the 2016 mains, UPSC asked a question related with air masses. Explain the concept of air masses and how it affects the macro climatic changes. Okay. Now in our sessions we discussed about how we can classify air masses, or the important property of air mass is that it will be having constant property of humidity as well as temperature. Now if there is an air mass in this room, now if I am going a particular place, there will not be variation in temperature, there will not be variation in humidity. So we can classify the air masses based on their property of humidity as well as temperature. Based on temperature, it is divided as based on amount of the water vapor present, it is divided as continental air mass and maritime air mass. And based on the temperature, it is basically divided as polar and tropical. Another classification is called their Arctic regions, right? So if you are saying continental polar, that means that particular air mass, it is warm and that particular air mass is having less amount of water vapor and the temperature is very less. Okay. Now, see the option given against the continental polar, Siberia regions. Again, that region will act as a source region for the formation of continental polar air masses, because Siberia is nothing but continental region and it is situated towards the polar regions, right? Now the B option, maritime polar. Maritime polar. Maritime polar means we are having atmospheric moisture and the temperature is less. So this means that some oceans in the poleward regions, right? So the option given is Bering Sea. Again, it will act as a source region for the maritime polar air mass. Now the C option, tropical or continental tropic. Continental tropic. This implies that the air mass is having less amount of water vapor and the temperature is high. Tropic means the regions are situated towards the tropical regions, or the continents situated towards the tropical regions. So when I discussed this in the class, I told you that towards these continental regions of tropic, there are irregularities. Okay, because of the high insulation, there are irregularities. Therefore, air mass cannot always get well developed in the tropical regions. But during summer, in Sahara regions, these continental tropical air masses are formed. Okay, so if you have that knowledge, you will understand that the option given against continental tropic is Deccan Plateau. Okay, Deccan Plateau is not that vast, or it cannot act as an homogeneous region, which is very necessary for the formation of air masses. So we will understand that the third one, or the C option, is the wrong one. Again, go through the fourth one, maritime tropic. Maritime tropic means there will be atmospheric moisture and temperature will be high. It implies that the tropical oceans, right? And the option given against it, Arabian Sea. Arabian Sea will act as source region for the maritime tropic air mass. So the answer will come out as C. Any doubts? Okay. Now go through the 40th question. Okay, which of the following is or are the characteristics of jet streams? Jet streams. Now again, it's a 3-statement question, right? So the rule is you can apply elimination method. Okay. Now just go through the third statement. Now do you feel any abnormality in the third statement? They blow from west to east, which is true. Their direction is from west to east owing to the rotation of the earth, right? They blow from west to east in the lower troposphere. Now if you notice that keyword lower troposphere, jet streams are nothing but upper air circulation. That is one basic concept related with jet streams. They are moving in the upper air atmosphere with high velocity in the direction west to east. Okay, so that we will be able to eliminate that third statement, and with that knowledge we can eliminate C as well as D. From that we will understand that the second statement is true. Now it all depends on whether the first one is true or false. They are meandering bands of swift wind. Again, their direction, they will be propagating in a meandering way. Okay, we have dealt in the class. Now, so the answer will come out as A only. Now go through the second one. There is a seasonal change in the wind velocity of jet streams. As in the case of Westerlies, I told you that during the winter time, they attain gale force, right? Same way, during the winter time, the jet streams also increase their wind velocity. Okay, it is again another important feature of jet streams. Now, I am not going into the detail about jet streams because it is in detail given in our climatology module. You can refer our first part of the major weather events module. So the answer will come out as A, 1 and 2 only.